Welcome seekers, you have made it to the Tarot Magicians channel. My name is Ricky, and today I bring you another pick a card tarot reading titled An Important Message to You from Your Higher Self. Now, in front of you, we have three groups. If you're new to pick a cards, well, each group has a distinct message, okay, that your higher self has for you. Now, I will go ahead and include a timestamps in the description below so that you can fast forward to your group. As you can see, today we have three cards from the new deck by Jessica Rowe, the Woodland Wardens. And we have, for group number one, the Spider and the Passion Flower. For group number two, we have the Owl and Hop. And for group number three, we have the Rooster and the Sunflower. So it is up to you to pick the group that calls to you the most. Try and connect with your higher self at this moment. And what would you pick? What are you being guided to pick? Which one of these three groups? Again, the timestamps are going to be in the description below so that you can fast forward to your group and your message from your higher self. Welcome, group number one. So you picked the Spider and the Passion Flower. Very beautiful selection. It's funny that I actually have a spider web that I ran into today, and it was just so beautiful, so creative, and that is essentially what the spider represents. There's a sense of balance, of light and dark. There's a cunning yet patient energy to the spider. They spin intricate webs that are both beautiful but also very deadly. And the Passion Flower is a flower that has come to symbolize faith. And so what this message boils down to is that you can solve your problems unconditionally with your cleverness. Okay? Now, I feel like also you can solve your problems unconventionally as well. So, it's important to, at this moment, to exercise patience in order to fully appreciate the results of your labor. And, as you move forward, it's important for you to understand how you can overcome your obstacles using your talents, right? Ask yourself that question. How can I overcome my obstacles using my talents? Your higher self is telling you that you have a lot of talents that potentially you have not tapped into. Also, make sure that you're asking yourself, when have I solved the problem using my ingenuity in the past? I feel like there is going to be some kind of important energy there that you're going to be activating, or some kind of awareness that you're going to be tapping into when you do that, when you essentially reach or try and connect with your past. It's not good to stay there for too long, obviously, but it is definitely a good a point of reference. And I feel like a remembrance of your victorious times and of your cleverness and of your creative ingenuity. So we're going to go ahead and start with the tarot. We're going to use the Tarot Apocalypsis by Kim Huggins for this reading. We're going to shuffle. And we're just going to go ahead and ask the cards exactly what is going on, what the situation is, if there is a situation, right? We're going to go ahead and let Spirit talk to us. We're going to try and connect with your higher self and see exactly what we get. All right. So what is the situation? Okay. All right. So we've got some interesting cards here. Very, very interesting cards indeed here. Okay. All right. So the first card is the Death card. This card came out reversed. And what we see with the Death card reversed is potentially a refusal to accept some kind of change. Maybe there's some stagnation currently where you are right now. There's a failing to reap a harvest through some kind of refusal or acknowledging of some sort, acknowledging maybe some kind of ending. Maybe there's some kind of fear of change, unwanted change, And so what it boils down to is that the situation that your higher self wants to talk to you about is your unwillingness to be bendable, to change, to move forward, to accept some kind of outcome, and just, willingly just go with that flow, right? Follow that thing. And I get the feeling that, there's great success that's going to be coming to you very, very soon. Your higher self wants you to fully embrace and accept what this change is going to be, what this success looks like. So the Six of Wands tells us what's going to happen, what's there, what's going to be present for you. And what that is complete and utter success. This can be in career, some kind of financial matter. It could be just general in life. It doesn't really have to point to one area. The wands talk about willpower and the desire to move in the world as effectively as we possibly can. And you are then rewarded. That energy is rewarded with success. Just success in whatever endeavor you've put so much time and energy into. And so you are going to achieve this success with the Six of Wands. The fact that it came out upright tells us that, right? And, we have to go back to the selection that you made, the spider and the passion flower. The passion flower, again, it's all about faith. So maybe you've lost faith in something, right? Your higher self is telling you you've lost faith in your ability. You've lost faith in yourself. You've lost faith in your creative power. And you have to try and recoup that faith. Maybe there's some thing that you've had to do, right? Maybe you've had to go back to work, or maybe you've had to go back to do something that you didn't want to, right? And you've had to go away from your passion, from what you truly want to do, right? I think that a lot of creators pick this group, a lot of inventors, a lot of people who are trying to make their way in the world, that have that kind of spider energy about them, right? This is the group of the writers, the creators, the motivators. And I feel like there's an energy of success that's surrounding you. There's an energy of true power. And what I mean by power is, I mean you stepping into your power, understanding your power, and moving in that understanding. Now, your higher self is essentially telling you that success is going to come, okay? You have to accept whatever change is coming at this time. Potentially, for those of you that just are stuck in some kind of pattern of fear, and that fear is maybe keeping you in a place where you can't move forward, you can't take action. There's a sense of stagnating. You've stagnated, you're there. And I think that for some of you, maybe you've stopped working on that web, okay? You stopped working on your web, and you've gone away into some kind of other venture. And essentially what's going to end up happening is that your fears and your inability to see this project through is going to lead you to potentially being unhappy with yourself and unhappy with your situation. The Death card reverse talks about a refusal of accepting something. You're refusing it. You're not using your ability to its fullest, so therefore you're refusing what is coming, and that refusal is your success. It is the Six of Wands. And so the advice is the Hierophant. And this is a very interesting card. Interesting because the Hierophant just shows us the structures of what Spirit would like for us. This is the priest that essentially connects with the divine source, Spirit, is inspired by it and is able to put to work the message, the words, into a structure, into a building, into a process, into a course, into something that other people can benefit from. And I think that maybe potentially there's an inability for you to do that, and you have to get back to that. So I think that, Spirit has been sending you messages. Your higher self has been sending you messages. The higher self sleeps dormant in the unconscious mind. And so it's important for you to try when you are, sleeping, if you're receiving dreams, if you're receiving messages, synchronicities, really pay attention to these things, because there is a message there. There is a pull. There is something more that's being given to you. And so it's important for you to really take into account what that is, so that you can fully understand what you ought to do at this time and what is coming as well. I think that life is just this beautiful, beautiful, ever evolving energy. And I feel like, your higher self is constantly trying to communicate with you and trying to guide you and steer you in the direction that you ought to go in order to be full, in order to achieve some kind of creative venture that is trying to be birthed out of you. But it starts with the passion flower, faith. You've lost some faith. Maybe you've lost some faith in things that you know to be true, things that have been revealed to you, and that maybe right now you are denying because of some fear. Maybe it hasn't happened quickly enough for you, so you've lost that faith. You've lost that motivation as well. And you've abandoned your web, the web of the spider. And so you have to get back to building that web little by little. I don't see anything here that says that you have to go quickly, or that you have to, advance in with haste. I think that what you are going to be rewarded with most is the ability to do it patiently. Be patient, right? That's also another energy that we see with the spider. The spider is patient in everything that it does. And so just like the spider is patient, you also must be patient in your pursuit, in your ambition. And understand that you will have victory. You will have success. It might not happen when you want it exactly, because there is still some work to be done. There's still some more web to be essentially worked on, but it is there. It is there, and you will have that victory. You just have to keep moving forward, is essentially what's being told to you here. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw some oracle cards. I was reaching for them right now. That was the ruckus that you probably heard. We're going to throw some oracle cards, and we're going to try and get some direct messages from your higher self, just to get a little more advice, a little more understanding. Now, I've already thrown the cards off camera, so we're just going to go ahead and reveal them. This is from the Self-Love Oracle. Let's take a look. So self-love says, pay it forward. Be the answer to someone else's prayer. Helping others can be the quickest way to help ourselves. Wow. That is some very good advice, right? From your higher self. Very good advice. Be the answer to someone else's prayer. There's a true magic whenever you go out of your way to make something happen for someone else, right? There's true magic. There's true, there's like a fire that is ignited in us whenever we see that, whenever we live through that, whenever we experience that energy of helping others. And the fact that we see that fire reflected in the Six of Wands with ultimate victory tells me that in your help, in your ability to assist others, you are going to also help yourself, which is essentially what the card is telling us, right? Now, let's throw a card from the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the message here is. All right, so the message reads, everything is a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. What do you need your life? I'm sorry, let me read that to you. This is a question that you should be asking yourself. What do you need in your life that you're not currently getting? Wow. And we see here almost, an illustration of someone that's kind of hugging themselves. And the thing is that they're not hugging themselves, but it almost feels that way. And I think that for some of you, what's missing is someone helping you, maybe motivating you, encouraging you. I think that a lot of you, maybe you don't have very good friends or very good people around that want to truly help you. Maybe there's just a lot of toxicity around, a lot of people that are just really worried about themselves, so they're not really, they don't have time to worry about you. There's a sense of just, unfortunately, having to deal with these not deal, but ultimately being weighed down by these energies. It's very difficult to accomplish anything when we don't have the support of someone there helping us, showing us the way. Possibly for some, not all of us can simply just tune in and find that creative talent within us, right? So we need that guidance, we need that motivation. So I think that maybe that's something that you are in need of right now, right? And it's interesting. Everything is a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. Wow. So it also gives us a little information about what's going on with the pay it forward, right? You are a mirror. You're reflecting something. So if you are essentially helping people, showing the best version of yourself, which is filled with love and care, true love, true care, unconditional. People don't have to do something in order for you to like them. You love them unconditionally. Very difficult to do, right? But if you're able to reflect this, right? If you're able to show this and you're able to hold up that energetic mirror, then that is what you are going to receive right back. It is unconditional love. It is an energy of just complete and utter success. So if you can help other people with their creative troubles, right? If you're someone that's having some kind of error or if you're experiencing some kind of setback in an area, ask yourself, how can you be of service to someone else in the same area that you're having trouble with, right? And it can be very small. It can just start with a simple social media post saying, hey, who's having trouble in this area? I'd like to talk to you, right? Very simple. And in that talking, in that process, right, you're going to energetically put up your mirror, and that is what you're going to attract, that same kind of energy and help. So, very interesting. Let's go ahead and throw some mini cards. I don't usually throw too many of these mini cards, but we're going to do it today. They're very good for just, I guess, general advice and understanding. So we're going to start with the Secret Garden. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the Secret Garden wants to tell us today in your higher self. You've got surprise. Okay. Surprise. So the message reads, surprises, venture down the rabbit hole. Wow. Venture down the rabbit hole. And this is very interesting, right? It almost feels like, again, we have that death card reversed showing up here. An unwillingness to change, accept change, maybe an unwillingness to ask some questions or pursue something. Stagnation is the ultimate issue and trouble that your higher self sees for you. Stagnation. So where are you stagnant? This is the area that your higher self wants you to focus on. And you need to venture down the rabbit hole. What that means is, if there's further research that needs to be done about a certain subject, if there's more study that needs to be had about something, then you have to work on this area, right? You have to try and correct correct some kind of negative, maybe self-imposed limitation. And I feel like in order for you to do that, you have to go on this venture. That's what the cards are telling you. You have to go on this venture. And while you're on this venture, make sure you're helping as many people as you possibly can with the same troubles that you're having. And in doing that, you're going to be able to venture even further down areas that you didn't even know were there. And I feel like that rabbit hole is simply going to lead you to a land of true magic, right? Think of Alice in Wonderland. She went down the rabbit hole and she came upon a very magical land. And I feel like there's just an entire world that wants to open itself to you, wants to be made available to you, where you will find success, where you will find the structure of the Hierophant, where you will find further guidance and understanding of who you are and how things truly work in the world. But you can't have that without going down that rabbit hole, without pursuing it. Is what the cards are saying, what your higher self is saying to you. So we're going to keep this going. The Whispering Woods is next. Let's take a look and see what the Whispering Woods wants to whisper to us. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle. Oh, here we are. All right, so we've got here adventure. Live wild and free. My, oh my. Yes. So, it looks like one area that has kept you in a place of stagnation is your inability to go on an adventure, right? Your inability to actually start some kind of creative, beautiful adventure. And I feel like this adventure is going to be filled with so many things, just like all adventures are, right? I'm thinking of, for some reason, the Hobbit, right? When he was motivated, or at least tried to be pushed in the direction of adventure by Gandalf, and he just wasn't having it, right? He didn't want to, because there's a sense of having to leave behind the comforts of his home, and so he didn't want that. But at the same time, there was something inside of him that just said, you want to go on that adventure. That's where you belong. And obviously, it was an adventure to go to a mountain where there is a dragon, right? And that dragon is more than likely going to be very scary, and that dragon is going to fight back, and you're probably going to come back with some bruises. But you're going to be able to come back victorious. You're going to be able to come back a hero. And that's what your higher self wants from you and is expecting of you. You are a hero, group number 1. And it's time for you to pick up your sword. It's time for you to pick up your shield. And it's time for you to start putting one foot in front of the other and go on that adventure. Go down that rabbit hole. You will be rewarded with success. And while you're doing that, make sure that you are paying it forward in all your victories, and even in all of your defeats. From your defeats, you will learn. Make sure that you are giving that knowledge and passing it on to the next generation. As we see here, in the Hierophant, one thing to consider is here we have the this kind of, I guess, what we see here is 3 generations, right, of enlightened beings. What we see here is 3 generations of people that understand and know what's required in order to have a victory in life. And and they're almost poetically inspiring and helping others to reach their true prosperity. And in doing that, they themselves are almost elevated. But that elevation only seeks to further expand other people's understanding. And it's important for you to try and integrate this into your life. I think that a lot of us, we live in a culture where it's just very, very all about ourselves, right? Even when we tell other people that we're doing the best for others, really we're just doing things for ourselves. And so, whenever I get a message of pay it forward, be the answer, give, be someone else's prayer, the fact that it always ends with, this is going to help you as well, it bothers me a little bit, because it's not really about you. It's about others, right? And it's very difficult to learn that lesson, because we're always so fearful of our own prosperity. But in order for you to truly be prosperous, you have to just learn to just live for other people. And that, trust me, is a very difficult lesson to learn, especially in today's world and environment. But I'm pretty sure that you are going to learn that lesson, and that you are going to just be so filled with true light once that happens. And it's very interesting that you've got surprises, right, showing up, that you've got adventure beckoning you, that you have success as well, that you have a sense of creativity that's about to be sparked with the spider, that you are also reminded of the faith that you've lost and that you have as well, and that you are also being reminded to move out of the stagnation that you are finding yourself in, so that you can find new routes. All right, so that is what I see here. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, group number 1. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Also, just want to remind you, I am offering private readings at this time. If you are interested, I am going to leave the link to my Etsy store in the description below. I only accept orders for private readings through Etsy, so the link will be below. Thank you once again for your comments. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for the likes. Make sure that you're commenting, because I will write back. I do want to communicate. I want to talk to you seekers as much as possible. So thank you once again, and bye-bye. Welcome, group number 2. So you picked the very beautiful owl and hop. This combination is a very dynamic one. Owls are closely associated with wisdom. They're known for their nocturnal vision. They represent knowledge, with also, some mystery as well. The hop is a very impressive plant. They're able to climb up to 20 feet in a single growing season. So when you combine these two energies, what you have is spiritual and intellectual fulfillment, right? It's essential that at this time you are in some ways focused on these things, because when we have this card, you have come to the end of a long journey, essentially. And it's time to relish in your achievements. Essentially, it's important for you to start taking a deep breath and just understand that you are successful. You are very successful. There's an acknowledgement of that success with the owl and the hop. It's almost like your higher self is telling you, hey, you're doing a great job. Go ahead and take a bow, pat yourself on the back. You are definitely doing what you need to do at this time. And so it's important for you to maybe even celebrate this, is what your higher self is telling you. So that is very interesting, right? Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and throw some tarot. We're going to use the Tarot Apocalypses, and we're going to try and see if there's anything else that your higher self would like to speak about, would like to uncover. So we're going to use the tarot to do that, and then we'll transition to other oracle cards. By the way, that owl is from the new Woodland Warden oracle deck. Very beautiful deck. Brand new deck by Jessica Rowe. All right, higher self. What needs to be uncovered? What information? Wow, so we've got some very dynamic energies here. Wow. All right, so let's sit with this for a little while and take a look here. Wow. So let's start with, obviously, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is the situation at hand, right? And what we see here is a very grim illustration, right? We have a man that's just tied, there's a sense of just torture here, right? It's almost like some kind of torture taking place. And this is very well a torturing mechanism that was used by the Vikings. And what we see here is essentially someone who is in their mind, right? The Eight of Swords, the swords, they rule the mind, they rule thought. And I feel like the fact that you've got this card, your higher self is telling you that you are voluntarily binding yourself to something, all right? And you're unable to control this in some way. And, it feels like you're really invested on this path that you're on. You're invested in this. And the fact that you've already got the owl showing up here, the fact that the owl is present telling you hey, you are successful, you've come a long way, you've done a lot of things, and you should be very happy and proud of that, tells me that you're being very hard on yourself right now, okay? That's what the Eight of Swords is showing us. You're being incredibly hard with yourself. And I think that for some of you, it's now turning into a problem. Your higher self is now telling you that, hey, the same things that you've used in the past to motivate you are unfortunately right now potentially keeping you in a bit of a bind, right? Your mind is having some trouble. And it's even seeping into your emotional state. We have here the Five of Cups showing up. And the Five of Cups is showing up as almost as a card indicating further problems, right? Further problems from that that bind that we saw with the Eight of Swords. This is the card of grief. Let's take a look at it a little closer. This is the card of grief, okay? But, grieving as a healing process, when we see the Five of Cups reversed, and it almost feels like you're mourning something. A lot of you are mourning something. The fact that it's showing up reversed tells us that you've reached a place where you're successful, but you can't see it. You can't see that success. You can't see just where you are. And I feel like maybe some of you are comparing yourself to other people. Maybe you're trying to keep up with other people. You're not realizing that you are someone who is incredible in every sense of the word. Maybe you are trying to shine a light that someone else is destined to shine. You want that shine as well, but you can't have it. There's a sense of destiny here with the Judgment card, which is why I'm saying that, right? I get the feeling that you are looking at other people and you are essentially trying to be those people, and it's, it's going to lead to more detrimental situations for you. And so your higher self wants you to avoid this pitfall. You are successful, group number 2. You've come a long way. You've ventured far and wide. You've gained clarity and understanding. You're better today than you were a day ago. You're better today than you were a year ago. Even though potentially you haven't seen it or you don't see it, you've gained the knowledge. You've gained the understanding. You've learned from your situation. And now here today you stand firm, knowing that you are going to have further success. Now, I think that, the fact that we've got this Eight of Swords tells us that you don't fully understand just how successful you are. You don't fully comprehend it. Maybe you want more success and you just want more, right? You expect more. And the fact that you're just not getting it, and maybe it's a bit slower, it's really just getting in the way of your happiness, of your joy. It almost feels like that, you're robbing yourself of that happiness and joy, right? And we see that with the Five of Cups. We have here someone who's essentially crying over 2 cups that have been spilled, right? And they are not acknowledging the 3 cups that still remain back there. And the fact that we've got this person just mourning and lamenting, right? And for no reason, because the owl's essentially telling you, hey, you've gained so much knowledge. You've gained so much understanding. You are a very powerful human being. Your wisdom is one that cannot be trifled with. You are someone to behold. And so I feel like you don't see that. You don't see that. You don't believe that. I think that's, you want more. You maybe want you want more increase, right? And so one thing to consider with the Judgment card is, where are you investing your time and energy and attention on, right? Because what we have here is, and this illustration is definitely one that's very powerful. We have here some people that are being washed, right? They're essentially further away from grace. The people at the very top of the mountain, the ones that are closest, you can see that their bodies are glowing and with gold. There's a sense of them reaching a certain path, right, of enlightenment. And so these other people right here that are drowning, they're blue, they're lifeless. They don't have that shine and that gold, and there's a sense of true, lamentation, right? And it almost feels like the more that you are within this energy right here of binding yourself and not seeing the victories and not seeing just how far you've come and how truly wonderful you are at this current moment in time, will lead you to more mental anguish, which will only lead you to more emotional disturbances. And if you combine these two things, right, mental troubles with emotional troubles, what you get is an unfulfilling life, all right? An unfulfilling life. And so, this message is very strong for those of you that are living your life in a way where, it's cookie cutter. At this age, I accomplished this. At that age, I accomplished that. When this happens, I will do this, and I will buy this house, and by this age, I should have this. And, well, look at that other person. Why don't I have that? If you're living your life that way, you are going to be in constant disappointment. You are going to be in constant mental anguish, emotional turbulence. It will bring you to a place of unhappiness. Next thing you know, 10, 15, 20, 30 years are going to pass by, and you're not going to be able to shake that feeling, because that feeling is ever growing, ever evolving. There is never enough, okay? We live in a world where there is never enough. Anytime you accomplish something, you're going to want to go for more. And so if you're not happy right now with who you are, with the wisdom that you have, with your youth, with your energy, you are always going to be miserable. And you don't want to get to a certain age. You don't want life to just pass you by and say, I got through it, whatever. I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to, but I got through it. You don't want that. You want to go through life having lived a fulfilled, happy, joyous life, and knowing that every time you took a step forward, you learned something new. And, it's very difficult, right, to move through life, always constantly having that mental anguish of it's not enough, I'm not enough. Why is it that you have that mentality? Your higher self is trying to help you in this area. Why is it that you have this emotional instability or this almost sadness within you, and it's important to really look at these two areas. So what we're going to go ahead and do now, we're going to throw some oracle cards to try and get some direct advice from your higher self, okay? We'll see what that advice is. So we've already thrown these cards off camera, all right, at random. I don't know what they are, but let's go ahead and take a look. So the first one is from the Self-Love Oracle, and the message is exercise gratitude. Everyone is a co-creator in this shared experience of life. Gratitude for all things overcomes our resistance to challenges and spurs our growth. My goodness, do you feel those goosebumps? Because I've got some goosebumps right now. This is the card to get for your situation. My goodness, I'm going to read that again. Everyone is a co-creator in this shared experience of life. Gratitude for all things overcomes our resistance to challenges and spurs our growth. Group number 2, exercise gratitude. Yes, all right. Your higher self is really pulling the rope here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and see what the other card is from your higher self. Okay. We've got here a message. When peace is your priority, negativity cannot exist. A question to ponder. How can you see through the eyes of Source and prioritize your inner peace? Wow. My goodness. So we have a challenge here from your higher self, right? Something to work on, right? Very powerful thing to work on. My goodness. So, it's important for you to exercise peace within your thoughts, right? Peace. We definitely have this 8 of Swords showing up. Mental anguish, right? How can you bring peace to your mental state? And then ultimately, you're the 5 of Cups shows us emotional distress. How can you bring peace to that emotional distress? Right? We have here a message of being of showing gratitude for everything that we have, being thankful for the things that we have. Very difficult lesson to learn. Everyone's always saying show a little gratitude, be thankful for what you have. Very difficult lesson to learn. Okay, very difficult, especially in a world, in a society that tells us to, hey, look at your neighbor, look at how far they've come. What about you? Shouldn't you have done more by now? Right? In a society that tells us, hey, hustle in order for you to get there, right? Or you're going to fall behind. So it's very difficult to be thankful for the things that we do have. when we don't even see the value and the goodness in the things that we have, right? So a very important lesson to learn. Your higher self is asking you, pleading with you, learn this lesson. If you don't learn this lesson, you will always have that mental anxiety, that mental anguish. You will always have this emotional turbulence that will lead to an unfulfilling life, because fulfillment comes from inside. Fulfillment comes from just waking up and saying, I am alive, I am so happy, not thinking about the millions of things that you wish that you could be doing, of the things that you can buy, of the things that you can do, of the experiences that you wish that you can be having. No, the only experience that matters is you breathing in and breathing out. You are alive, you are here. And so that is very difficult, right? Such a difficult thing to learn, because I myself am a person that, there's a sense of wanting to be successful. There's a sense of wanting more. And it's never enough. Never, ever, ever enough. And it will never be enough. So gratitude, okay, finding peace with where you are in life, prioritizing that peace over any kind of negativity, all right, in order for you to be able to flow. And where are you going to flow? Well, you're going to flow with these people that are enlightened, that are actually in this golden light of divinity flying upwards, right? Right now, you are drowning. You are this guy right here. You are drowning in a sea of negative emotions, okay? And you're going to find your way, okay? You don't worry. You are going to find your way up that rock. But it is a process, all right? It is a process. So be thankful for what you have. It's what your higher self is imploring you. Now, we're going to throw some more oracle cards. We're going to keep the oracle cards coming. The Secret Garden Oracle. Let's take a look and see what the Secret Garden wants to tell us. Let's take a look. All right, Secret Garden. What do you got for us? Success. Okay, success. Bloom wherever you are planted. This is a very important card, because your higher self is telling you you will have success. You will be able to bloom wherever you are planted. And so I feel that this is in some ways reflecting something, or bringing to light a shadow, right? A fear. And that fear might very well be that you not being enough. And my goodness, is that a fear, right? You not being substantial. I've seen people sometimes, they start projects, they start these new ventures, and there's so much power behind it, so much willpower to do it, right? And they're juggling like 500 things at once, and they want to achieve all of these things. And there's this pursuit that's never ending. And so I think that your higher self is asking you, you have enough. Keep doing what you're doing. You are enough. You will live a wonderful life. It will be a fulfilling life. But you are enough, is what your higher self is telling you. You will bloom wherever you are planted. There should be no fear in you of not being enough. There should be no fear in you of not going the distance. You will go that distance. You will travel and see new things. Now, let's go ahead and keep the oracle cards coming. We have here the Whispering Woods Oracle. Let's see what message we get from the Whispering Woods. What does the Whispering Woods want to whisper to us? Let's see. Woods. Okay. Be like the woods, calm, soothing, mysterious, and full of life. Wow. I love this message. I love this as your very last closing message, group number 2, because my goodness, it goes hand in hand with finding peace and prioritizing that peace, right? Now we have some more key words here: calmness, soothing, and maybe even a little mysterious, right? But what? Full of life. My goodness. And life, again, doesn't come by being able to afford that VIP table. Life doesn't come by achieving something. Life doesn't come through achievement. Life doesn't come through a glorification and an idolization of wealth and money and power and status. Life comes from you. You are life. How are you living your life without all of the other things that are just material in nature? How are you living your life, group number 2? How is your life unfolding? Do you have a grip on what that life looks like? That is the message. So, thank you so much for watching, group number 2. Thank you for your donations, for your comments. Also, I am offering private readings at this time. So if you are interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. I am going to include the link in the description below for you. So, you know, I hope to work with you very soon. Thank you, guys, for your donations. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for your encouraging words. If you have any ideas that you would like to see in this channel, I'd love to hear what those ideas are. And I will definitely work to bring you, you know, what you want. So make sure to include those ideas in the comments section. Ideas for new pick-a cards, etc. So, thank you once again, and bye-bye. Welcome, group number 3. So you picked the rooster and the sunflower. I really like this combination. Really like this group. You know, this is the card of communication, essentially. This is the card that tells you that you are well suited to a position of authority. And it's important for you to remember that clear and open communication is key to successful leadership. That is a reminder from your higher self to you. You know, this is definitely the card of a good leader and a kind king. You know, we definitely have here the energy of a rooster that in some ways wakes before the rest of the farm, you know, alerting everyone to the rising sun. You know, they're protective in their territory. They're also very self-confident. And they're also excellent communicators, honest and capable. That is the energy of the rooster. The sunflower is often the tallest bloom in the garden, rising high and turning its face towards the sun. So, you know, while it may hover over other flowers, it bestows warmth and joy on the garden. So, you know, there is definitely, when you combine these two, I mean, come on. We have here an energy of leadership, right? An energy of just rising above and helping and assisting. And my goodness, very beautiful, beautiful card for you, group number 3. Awesome that you picked this group. It's probably the group that I would have picked because I love a rooster energy. So let's go ahead and utilize the tarot to get a little more information from your higher self. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. And we're going to throw 3 tarot cards. Just 3 tarot cards. We're going to try and gain some understanding here. Let's see. Alright, so what is the situation that your higher self would like to talk to you today about? Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Group number 3. This is a very favorable reading. My goodness, compared to the other groups, this is, I think, the most favorable. Because your higher self is commending you. Your higher self is applauding you, okay? Boom, 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 boom. Applaud, 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 applaud. My goodness. We have here a representation of you, you know, in the situation card. And when we have a card like this showing up in that position, what we have is a reminder of self. And what we have is also an understanding of the power and the light that you're shining in the world. So the Princess of Wands is in every way a leader. She's a motivator. She's able to use her power and her ability to shine light and illuminate the dark corners of the world. There's a sense of mastery as well with the Princess of Wands, all right? So when we have this in a situation card, what we have is an acknowledgement of who you are, an acknowledgement of how far you've come, an understanding that you are a leader, that you are a motivator, that you are someone that is essentially someone who people view as a very important force, okay? Now, if for those of you that don't see it, and I doubt that you don't, because I mean, we've got a lot of fire energy here, okay? We've got a lot of leadership energy here. We've got true ability and power. So for those of you that maybe potentially don't see it, your higher self is here to tell you that it's there, okay? But I doubt it, because my goodness, you know, you are filled with true fire, okay? If you are the Princess of Wands, you are filled with true fire, ability, desire, and you know, there's really nothing negative to really shine light to. Right? There's no shadows here. It feels like you've already shined the light to the shadows that have crept up, and you've been able to integrate those shadows into your psyche so that you can have success. And that success looks very, very, very nice. Okay, so we have the Nine of Cups showing up as a future, in a future position, right? This is what will happen, or what will this energy bring you. And what we have is the Nine of Cups. My goodness, upright. This is the card of pure joy. This is the card of happiness, contentment. All right, in every sense of the word, joy, happiness, contentment. We have, you know, a person here who is displaying her cups up on the wall, very proud, right? A very accomplished person, someone who is very happy with their life, and they're now living their life. They're living that ultimate good life that they essentially want. But it goes even deeper than that, because the Nine of Cups is just emotional satisfaction. This is someone who's been able to integrate the shadows, and in doing so, they've reached a place where they are happy. Anything can happen to them, it doesn't matter. They are happy people. So they're living their life in accordance with that, right? They're just filled with this sense of true vitality, for all of the experiences, for the things that have happened, you know. And I feel like in this being in the future, in a future position of what will happen, it tells me that all of that energy that you are expelling now, that you are putting into work now, is going to lead you to an even happier life. So keep moving forward. Group number 3, keep moving forward. You are doing a great, great job. The King of Pentacles is an interesting card because I feel that it has dual meaning. Obviously, take what resonates, leave the rest, okay? But it has dual meaning. Number 1, this is the card of what will come to you. And the fact that we've got a person showing up here tells me that maybe you're going to receive some help by someone. And it's definitely someone that is going to represent the divine masculine energy. So a king is about to present themselves to you. Now, you know, this could be someone that wants to collaborate with you. The King of Pentacles knows what true talent looks like, knows what true ability looks like. There's a sense of wanting to work with that talent and that ability for there to be further increase. And so what the King of Pentacles wants to do is try and hire you, work with you, so that you can be successful and they can be successful as well. So there's a team effort here. You know, the fact that we've got a Nine of Cups, we can talk about emotional fulfillment. So maybe this is a partner, maybe a lover, you know, a romantic partner. You know, we can definitely find that interpretation within these tarot cards as well. But definitely, you know, if we look at the main message, right, of the King of Pentacles, and we say, okay, maybe this is an aspect of ourselves. Well, this is the aspect of you that understands what is most important in life and pursues it. The King of Pentacles understands the rhythm of life, right? They hold that rhythm of life in their hands, right? There's a creative energy that the King of Pentacles has. There's a sense of strong foundations underneath you where you can build on top and you can actually have whatever increase you want through your creative ventures, through your communication, your ability to inspire others, your leadership qualities, right? So my goodness, there's just there's just nothing negative to say here, really. There's no shadows that we need to talk about. The tarot cards are just giving such a beautiful, beautiful forecast. Compared to the other two groups, my goodness, this is definitely a very important group. Let's go ahead and throw the oracle cards. There's really not much to say with the tarot. Awesome job. You know, if I can tell you exactly what your higher self is doing right now, they are applauding you. All right, they are applauding you. Your spirit guides are all around, and my goodness, it's just applause. So take this moment, group number 3, because this is what your higher self is doing right now. They are applauding the success. And they, you know, I feel like they're very happy, right? They're filled with a sense of pride because, my goodness, they've helped you, right? They have helped you reach this level, and now it's just, I think, a time to really celebrate. Now, you know, maybe speaking too soon. We do have some oracle cards coming, right? Let's see what the oracle cards tell us. Maybe some advice on how to continue this, or let's see. Let's just see what your higher self wants to tell you. So we're gonna go ahead and throw a card from the Self-Love Oracle. I don't know what the card is. They've been thrown at random. We're gonna reveal it now. Let's see. Okay, love all. Your compassion is incomplete until it includes yourself. Release self-judgment, self-punishment, self-loathing, and self-sabotage. The reflection of your love begins with you. All right. Beautiful card. And my goodness, what an awesome card to get. Okay, so a little bit of a crack, right? We've got a little bit of a crack here showing up, and I like it because it gives us more to talk about, right? And it's the cracks that we identify where we're able to fully learn and understand. The message here is you're not seeing just how powerful and beautiful and wonderful you are. You're not seeing it. Some of you are struggling with this. Some of you are struggling with understanding just how truly important you are, just how far you've come. And it's almost like your higher self is telling you, hey, it's okay. It's a part of you. No one suffers more than the leader. And you are a leader. The reason why you don't see it is because you are constantly trying to put other people first. And that is what makes you a leader. Okay? But there's a sense of also punishment for yourself, right? You're very critical of yourself. You're always judging yourself. You're always punishing yourself. You're always kind of, you know, going through a sense of self-loathing and you know, self-sabotage sometimes, right? Because you're unable to fully love every aspect of you, because I think that some of you want to continue that change. You want to be better. You want to be able. You want to continue thinking of other people, leading. And when you have that kind of self-sacrificing energy, you are constantly judging what you are doing. How can you not? That's the only way to change. That's where true change comes from. But I think that your higher self is telling you, you've reached a point, all right? You have reached a point where you don't have to keep doing that. You don't have to keep, second guessing yourself. You don't have to keep going through that self-judgment, self-punishment, self-loathing, and self-sabotage. That is a part of your experience currently. You don't have to keep going through that. You can change that. And you are, in some ways, being pushed to change that, because you are someone that has been very influential, very able, very capable. You know, a lot of people have taken refuge in the light that you have expelled. And my goodness, you know, I feel like there's a lot of positive energy with a lot of you. All right, there's a lot of energy, and people look at that, and it's like the warmth of the sun, right? When the sun rises, it gives life, and you've given so much life. And I think that your biggest struggle, group number 3, is now understanding just how important that light and that life is, and even acknowledging that, hey, you've done a significant amount. your higher self would venture to probably tell you you've done enough. Okay? And so make sure that you're checking in with yourself, right? Check in with yourself. You are a very compassionate person, but your compassion is incomplete until it includes yourself. Very interesting. All right, let's go ahead and reveal the another oracle card. This is from the Unshakable Inner Peace. I threw it at random. Again, don't know what the card is, but we're going to find out right now. Let's see. Message. Out of the woods, you've made it through. A question. What newness is emerging? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Group number 3. I mean, these cards are so freaking positive. They're so beautiful. So filled with light and oh my goodness. So you've made it out of the woods, okay? You've made it through, is what your higher self is telling you. What newness is emerging is the question to ask right now, because there's always something emerging, right? I mean, the only true constant in life is change. That's what we can essentially say is the only constant. Change, change, change. The seasons change. Everything changes. People change. So, yeah, and the people that tell you that people don't change, or that those are people that are unwilling to change themselves. So don't allow people to tell you that change is not something that is true, or change is everywhere. All right? It's the ability to go through with that change. It's the ability to follow through. It's the ability to go through a period of destruction, destroying old paradigms to make way for the new. That's what's most important. And I think you know this, because obviously you are a leader, right? You excel in many areas, so you understand that that is true. But you've made it out of the woods, all right? You've made it through. Now, it's time to relax, sit down, look around, and ask ourselves, what now? Now that I have this, now that I know this, now that I've reached a place of true success, what now? What's emerging? What's new? Well, let's see if the oracle cards can give a little more answers, right? We're going to start with the Secret Garden oracles, and we're going to try and get a direct message from the Secret Garden. These I did not shuffle off camera, so we're going to do it live. Change, okay. Change. As with the falling leaves, embrace change. Wow. My goodness. Whew. Group number 3, you have such a powerful reading. Powerful in so many ways. So, I feel like the cards, your higher self is telling you that, change is coming. All right. And the thing is that this is a general reading, so we can't get a very direct message of what that change looks like, because obviously it's a general reading. There's a lot of people watching this, but change is coming. And that change is one that you are being asked to accept. Open your arms and just hug it, embrace it, bring it into you, right? It's a change that's going to bring something truly new and wonderful and dynamic. Keep in mind, though, because anytime I say change, right, it's always a little scary, a little anxiety, I feel, because change is scary, right? Remember, you've made it out of the woods. You've made it through. That means that you've gone through chaos, you've created order. We see that order with the King of Pentacles, a structure underneath a foundation, and now you're building on top of that foundation. You've made it out of the woods. What newness is emerging? Change. As with the falling leaves, embrace that change. All right, so let's see what else, what other messages we get here. We're going to throw another oracle card from the Whispering Woods. Let's take a look and see what we have. Embrace the change. My goodness. Group number 3. This is such a beautiful reading. All right. Final message. Strength. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. Yes. All right. Group number 3, your higher self is telling you that you have vanquished a lot of darkness. You've been strong. You've been resilient. You've been capable. You've been able. And that strength is now a part of you. It has become you. And whatever is presented to you at this moment, you will meet it with the same strength and ability that you've met all of your other challenges. Okay? And you will reign victorious. Keep that in mind, group number 3. There is nothing that you can't do at this time. I think that you are headed to through a new cycle of true change. Your abilities are going to be potentially put to the test, and that ability is going to only seek to increase you in other levels, right? I'm thinking, I just had this kind of vision of someone that has learned a very, very important skill. And they've learned it in order to reach the place where they've always wanted to be. But now that they're at that place, they have to contend with the actual place. You have to show up, right? And you have to perform. You have to, in some ways, utilize that strength and keep that same determination that you've had in the past present always with you. And maybe that is the new challenge. Keeping that energy with you, understanding how powerful you are, knowing that your voice can inspire, it can uplift, it can create, or it can destroy. But you are a leader through and through. Okay? Just to recap, make sure that you're being compassionate with yourself, because compassion is incomplete until it includes yourself. Release self-judgment, release the self-punishment, the self-loathing, the self-sabotage. The reflection of your love begins with you. Okay? Out of the woods, you've made it. Okay? Newness is emerging. Change is coming. And your roots are deep. You need not fear the storm. Your roots are so deep that anything that comes your way, there's a hurricane, category 5, doesn't matter how strong that wind is gonna blow, your roots are deep in that ground, and there's nothing that's gonna be able to take you from that place. Your higher self is telling you that no one from this moment forward will knock you from where you are. And you have to, in some ways, know this, believe it with all your heart and might, but mostly focus on yourself, your self-love, your self-judgment. All right? See how much you've helped people around you. See the change that you've brought. Try and connect with that. All right? So that is what I see here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Thank you also for subscribing. Quick reminder, I am offering private readings at this time. So if you're interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. I'm going to include the links in the description below. Again, thank you guys for just being a part of this community. Thank you for commenting. I read all of your comments and I respond back. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you thought about this reading. This was a very favorable reading, guys, okay? Very favorable compared to the other 2 groups. Not saying that those 2 groups were bad, but definitely very, very little shadows to even illuminate. So wonderful. Keep up the good work. Again, your higher self is applauding you. Applauds. Keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it out there. Love you guys. Bye-bye.